We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us, we build together, we don't destroy.
Support us by liking the video, vibrate in love by sharing the video to one person that you love, become our member here on YouTube by clicking join, follow us on Instagram, we have basically many courses over there, follow us also on Facebook, we have many posts over there, become our Patreon to show us love by supporting us. We have amazing courses available on our Patreon account. Visit our website to know more about Zola Bantu. Click on our playlist here on YouTube to be able to watch our courses for free and see our classes. Join the Zola Bantu class every Sunday, available here on YouTube to decolonize your mind. Donate to us via PayPal. If you cannot donate funds, donate to us your time by blessing us with your skills and expertise on our projects. Bless us with at least 1 hour a week of your time. Our key projects are education, food, media, army, and the restoration of the African woman. We love you so much, Zola Bantu. Kisses. Mwah. Zola everybody, we love you so much, Zola Bantu. My name is Avinga Yakangalangala. We love you so much. Welcome again to Zola Bantu class number 43. We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us. We build together, we don't destroy. Zolangangu nsakumpamvu nzinga makuku matatu malamba kongo tubunda pandu katuvani panduko. Welcome again to Zola Bantu class number 43. Marriage, its sense and its objective. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa, we love you so much for making the time this particular Sunday to listen to this beautiful class on marriage, its sense and its objective. We basically began a new series on marriage to be able to really give a teaching to have a deeper understanding of marriage, as we are basically ending our module 2 of Life 101. My friends, Zola Bantu is a spiritual organization preparing humanity for the reign of Kwatulendo, the reign of peace on earth, coming very soon in the heart of Africa. We love you so much. Zola means love, Bantu means people. We basically are preparing the hearts of humanity for the reign of Divine King, the reign of Kwatulendo, coming very soon in the heart of Africa. We also have projects, my dear brothers and sisters, of education, food, media, army, and also the restoration of the African woman. And we recently introduced a new initiative in Zola Bantu entitled the Zola Bantu Trust Fund. We were trying to collect funds to be able to build and support African projects, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. Currently, we basically have 8 members. We're hoping to be able to get to 100 members by this year to be able to see how we can contribute for the financing of African projects, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. So do join our Zola Bantu Trust Fund and see how we can grow to be able to raise at least $10,000 so we can be able to support and finance African projects that basically are lacking funding but are very effective for the growth of our community, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. In our previous class, we spoke about basically honor father and mother, the principle of light and success in educating our children. I'm sure many of you followed it and you were able to be blessed to understand exactly what does it mean to honor father and mother in light of the eternal gospel. We did not understand it. We were taught wrongly by people that brought us religion, but we tried to be able to explain the real meaning and the sense of honor father and mother, the principle of light and success for educating our children. Today we shall look at basically marriage. I'm sure many of you are already married. Some of you are hoping maybe one day you get married. But come to this class and understand exactly what is marriage before making that big decision. And for many of you already married, this is the class for you to even know and to become a better partner for your spouse or your husband. But before we start, my dear brothers and sisters, we're trying to prepare for the reign of Kwatulendo. The Simbis, the entities of the Most High, the servants of the Most High, are basically preparing the field and cleaning up the physical dimension for the arrival of the Divine King. The Simbis are basically doing a work of cleaning up the entire physical dimension to remove all sort of dirtiness, even in what we have created in political science, applicable science, how we have polluted the family, the ecosystem, we have polluted the astral realm, the mental realm. Everything has to be cleaned up. We have created false theories and false concepts in the field of law, sociology, history, anthropology. Everything has to be wiped out. The sacred authors said that we were going to be exposed publicly. Babylon will fall. The time of Aquarius, in the symbol of Aquarius, you see the entity, the primordial, pouring water. It means they are washing away all the dirty things to prepare for the reign of Kwatulendu. So all those who are basically in the lower astral world will not be able to reincarnate back on earth in the time of the reign of peace on earth. All the imposters will be exposed, and these manipulators will be ridiculed, and Babylon will fall. The foundation of this material civilization will be destroyed. A civilization which is basically built strictly on the accumulation of low material riches. We have made of this post-creation a pit called Babylon, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. So my dear brothers and sisters, we're going to begin first of all on what is marriage, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. Today we're going to do a small introduction on the teaching of today on marriage. We are going to look at one of the glorious teachings of the Son of Man from Ukimbangu, and the incarnation of the Holy Spirit that came to teach humanity. Unfortunately, he was arrested for 30 years in prison, but he taught on marriage. And today we're going to share with you what exactly he said on marriage. Marriage understood basically as a union between a man and a woman. My brothers and sisters of Africa, the Caribbean, the Pacific, and all of the diaspora, we send you our greetings. We urge you to listen to us attentively for those who want to have a deeper and a spiritual understanding of marriage. Marriage, we're going to see today why this union, why do we marry, when do we do this union, what do we put together, what is put together in this union, why is it necessary to work together for this union that is marriage. Why is it a great necessity for the life of a human on earth to unite with another soul, to place certain things together, but for what purpose? And what implicates this union, this marriage? What is the appropriate cadre so that this bringing together of talents and spiritual gifts can be done in an enoblishment manner? What is finally the reality of the actual marriage? Is it that this reality is conformed to the will of the Most High when he established this activity, this union between a man and a woman? Marriage between a man and a woman, is it a material affair? Is it a spiritual affair? We return to our second question. Well, what do we put together, and how to render harmoniously this marriage on earth so that it can be able to participate according to the will of the Most High? We shall see when does a man or a woman become conscious of the necessity of marriage, and when he or she becomes conscious of this necessity, how to prepare for this marriage, what do we prepare, and how to approach the problematic of the choice of a partner in marriage, because this problematic of the choice of a partner is something very serious to be able to consider when entering into marriage. My friends of Africa, we have basically observed that people have fallen into a choice that they were basically trapped in. Trapped because they approached the problematic of marriage because they wanted to satisfy their sexual feelings. Trapped because they approached marriage by looking at others. Oh, my age has advanced, my friends are married, but I'm not yet married. So they precipitated the choice of marriage unconsciously. Trap of poverty, we live in poverty and we see a woman from a rich family or a man from a well-to-do family, or the man himself has money, so we enter into marriage and one is trapped in the choice of marriage. Trapped in the case where one wants to use marriage to sort out an administrative problem, looking for a stay in Europe or looking to have a child simply, but we are far from the objective of marriage as how the Most High defined it. We're in a family conflict and we want to escape the family because the space is inhabitable, so we choose to marry to escape our family problems, and we are trapped. Spiritual immaturity and lack of preparation. We do not know well why we marry. We see others are married and we want to do the same thing, and we fall into the trap of marriage. See there, my dear brothers and sisters, all these questions will be addressed in this series on marriage we have begun at Zola Bantu. We'll have about 5 classes on marriage. The first part, that is today, will be basically on what is marriage and what are the principal objectives of marriage. Before going far, we shall first of all address what is marriage according to the teachings of pure spirituality. And in the second class on marriage, we shall look at basically the preparation of marriage during childhood. In the third class, we shall look at basically the preparation of marriage during adolescence. And in the fourth class, we shall basically look at marriage, the choice of a partner, and the responsibility. In this class number 4, we shall look at the preparation of marriage and the choice of a partner. We shall also look at what does this implicate in the life of the couple and the roles to be played by one and the other in this huge enterprise called marriage. And then in our final class on marriage, we shall basically look at who should bless the marriage, the parents or the pastor of the church. Is religious marriage necessary, or traditional and cultural marriage before the parents is already sufficient? And this is how we're going to be able to conclude our series on marriage, and then we shall move into our third module to speak to our queens on the teachings of spirituality, which is entitled The Mission of a Woman on Earth. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa, we're in a great teaching on marriage today. We were going to be able to address this issue of marriage by basing our teaching on the resonance of the eternal gospel brought by the Son of Man, the incarnation of the Holy Spirit from Mukimbangu. So today we shall be able to speak on marriage, the goals and the principal objectives of marriage. First of all, my dear brothers and sisters, who exactly are we? We are basically the character, the peace and the energy, the intercell of the Most High. So as the piece of the will of the Most High, it means we are spiritual talents consciously crystallized in a state of sleep. We are basically the expression of the will of the Most High that came into the world. We came to the earth to cultivate this energy of the Most High, to be able to take form, and we are able to cultivate it to be able to acquire a spiritual personality. We came here on earth to cultivate these virtues, the intercell of the Most High, of the will of the Most High, which is basically love, which is justice, which is purity. And all these virtues of love, justice, and purity can be read from the laws that govern the visible and the invisible universe. We are basically the intercell or the piece of the will of the Most High. We are therefore light. When the Most High said, "Let there be light," this light, it is you and me asleep. But we need to come to this physical dimension to manifest that light, manifest love, justice, and purity of the Most High, so that we can be able to acquire the consciousness of being the children of the Most High. So this therefore demands us to be able to manifest these things in activities. The piece of the will of the Most High that we are manifest basically essentially in two activities. That is why we say that the spirits are hermaphrodite. It means we have two activities that manifest the will of the Most High, that expresses what the Most High is, that expresses the light that sublimates matter. These two activities, the first is a transformative activity, a transformation of matter to the image and resemblance of what happens in heaven. We organize the material earth, life in matter, to be conformed to the will of what happens in the higher dimensions. For Jesus said in the Lord's Prayer, "Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven." So this first activity is a positive activity that is known as the masculine activity, the right hand of the Most High. This first activity, we did not start by stating it because it means it's important. We are just trying to state it. And what exactly is the masculine activity? It is basically an activity that consists of transforming the material universe to transform the society, to live in the physical dimension the same way life is done in the higher dimension, making the earth a mirror image of the heaven. And the second activity, it is while we are basically transforming this physical dimension to be like the heavens, the second activity supports this transformation activity, the masculine activity, so he doesn't lose his connection with his higher dimension. The left hand of Tatanzambi, the feminine activity, the helper, the Bible says, "I will make for him a helper." She is the helper of the first activity, so that during this amazing work of transformation, everything should go on well and the connection with the heavens should always be possible. that the first activity of transformation should always live in a home that has the flame of love, the flame of justice, and the flame of purity. So what does this mean? It means that the masculine activity and the feminine activity, the two of them together, is what will generate the spiritual beauty in the physical dimension. We are basically on a mission to cultivate beauty on this earth that the Simbis created, in this matter that the beings of nature formed from the plans they received from the Most High. Our experience is to manifest in this ecosystem that the Simbis have made for us, to make it become beauty, to look like the heavens and to look like the spiritual kingdom. And while we are basically being able to manifest it, it is the masculine activity that has the intelligence to place the mechanisms that transform the society in its governance, in its applicable science, and also in its social sciences. And even in the activity of the temple, we need to construct the model that is basically like what happens above. And when we engage in this amazing work, there is also an activity of support, the feminine activity, to watch that those that are basically doing the work of transformation do not move away from the sacred light of love, justice, and purity. Brothers and sisters of Africa, when we speak of a spiritual beauty, we speak of a work that is done in love. Work in whatsoever domain of life that manifests the justice of the Most High. Work that respects the laws that govern the visible and the invisible creation. Because these laws of nature here in the dense matter, it is what they call the will of the Most High, or the verb of the Most High. That is the true word of the Most High. The word of the Most High is the verb, the principle that governs the visible and the invisible creation. Other sacred authors, they took these words and put them into a language of human beings, but in truth, the word of the Most High needs to translate the laws of the Most High, the will of the Most High. And only the will of the Most High matters. And the masculine activity needs to manifest in his work, whether he is a mason, an engineer, an architect, an interior designer, a road cleaner, a house cleaner, a thinker, a philosopher. In whatsoever activity of your life, you have to be able to transform the energies of nature to an environment that exteriorizes the verb of the Most High, the celestial society here on earth. And for this, it is a heavy laborious work that has the necessity and requires support, because in this work we shall face a lot of difficulties on earth that can lead us to move away from the Most High. That is why there's a second activity which is called the feminine activity, to help humanity to always be connected to the Most High while engaging in the activity of transformation. So here you will notice that we are placing the foundation of what we shall call marriage. So marriage is therefore the union of these two activities, the union of the transformation activity and the activity of support. And for this we need to therefore know, by the initiation of life, by reflection, by meditation, by our return of experiences, by our relationship with our neighbor, with the earth, in a careful study, in the capitalization of what we have acquired in history, in open to light, we need to learn and know life and to be able to respect the principle of life. So marriage, for those that one day will want to engage in these two activities, we wear our words. When we speak of activities, we are not speaking of a union of two people. No, we speak of two activities that unite to manifest the glory of the Most High in the physical dimension, where these two people, carriers of these two activities, engage to unify their activities. One, the masculine activity, the transformer, the builder, and the other, the feminine activity of support, the helper. My friends, we like to bring a detailed precision. We said that we are spirits. It means we are basically the piece of the will of the Most High. In each spirit is found crystallized a feminine and a masculine talents of the will of the Most High. That is why it said that the spirits are hermaphrodite. We have both the yin and the yang on the inside. It means each spirit, for example, in me, I carry both the feminine and the masculine talents. I have the left hand of Tata Nzambi in me. I also have the right hand of Tata Nzambi in me. Tata Nzambi and Mama Ndombe. In Buddhism, they say the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative. Even a spirit that has basically worn the body of a woman, she also has the right hand of the Most High in her. So it means the spirits are basically hermaphrodites. They have the masculine talents and they eagerly have the feminine talents in them. So we have the qualities in us to potentially exercise these two talents. But to exercise these talents, there's a need to use the right tools, the right utilities. So the masculine talents that basically consist of transforming the universe has the appropriate tools to help exercise these talents. And this tool or utility is called the masculine body. The physical body of a man is a tool or utility that the spirit uses to take out or bring out his strengths of manhood. The masculine activity that consists of transforming the earth according to the will of the Most High in all domains. So the physical body of a man was configured and designed from the brain to the heart in the way he thinks and speaks, his astral body, his physical body, to permit him to well experiment the masculine activity, the activity of transformation of the material universe to the resemblance of what is basically above. And the feminine talents, the feminine activity is manifested to a spirit that wears an appropriate tool to manifest femininity. Because femininity is a spiritual activity that arrives at its success when one wears the body of a woman. So the body of a woman, those that have it are those that have the capacity to bring the femininity activity, the activity of help on the earth, to always be in connection to the Most High, to be guided by the Most High. So to be able to manifest the masculine activity, one needs to incarnate the body of a man, even though we are hermaphrodite, like we explained, but we have chosen, some among us have chosen, when coming to the earth, via the mental world, we chose to do the masculine activity. And when we chose this particular activity, the Simbis created for us a masculine astral body to be able to experience masculine activity, which is basically an activity, like we said, in different domains of our life to transform the physical earth to be the resemblance of the spiritual kingdom, to reflect love, justice, and purity of the Most High. And this choice is made in the mental world. So the revelation here is that it is not the Most High that made you to choose. The Most High does not impose you to choose which activity you want. You yourself chose that activity that you wanted to experiment and to do here on the earth. This is how they created for you a body that you wear currently. You came to be born a man or a woman when your mother and your father came together, when the 23 chromosomes of your father and your mother came together to unite via the act of sex. When the body that is formed is male, it means the spirit that chose the masculine activity, who they made for him an astral body of a man, is attracted to that particular pregnancy. Same case with women. It means if the spirit chose the feminine activity, she will be attracted to a pregnancy where she already has the astral body of a feminine, which they made for her, into a pregnancy of a baby girl. So it is basically a choice, my brothers and sisters of Africa. It is a choice. It is a choice that you made. We understand maybe you do not remember. We shall explain later in the class why you don't remember. The nobility of a human is to respect his or her choice. Mfumu Yesu said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. I chose to experiment masculinity. I cannot arrive here on earth because of the circumstances of life, because of the fall of humanity, and start experimenting the feminine activity. No. Because there are other hermaphrodite spirits that made the choice to experiment the feminine activity, like you are queens here. It means you chose to be the support in creation of all the work that is being done in creation, so that all the work that is being done in creation can be done always in connection with a higher dimension. And these activities require a preparation for those that have chosen them, and the body needs to be prepared well to serve as a perfect tool for these activities, for these spirits. And the body needs to be prepared well to serve as a perfect tool for these spirits that have chosen the masculine or the feminine activity. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa, we have explained all this to you so you can be able to understand the spiritual dimension of marriage. And you yourself can see that we are basically far from this today. Careful. There is no possibility in this particular dimension to exercise both the feminine and the masculine activity. No, you only have to choose one. And when you make the choice by entering into this dimension, well, you'll be incarnated into a body of a man if you chose the masculine activity. And you shall be incarnated into the body of a woman if you chose the feminine activity. But you have a hermaphrodite spirit. It means as a man you also have the feminine activity, but you chose to be a man in the world. It means as a woman you also have the masculine activity, but you chose to be a woman in the world. That body is a tool that has been given to a woman, for example, so that her femininity, the Most High, can be able to be manifested in her. But it doesn't mean she is not hermaphrodite. She is also hermaphrodite. She also has the masculine talents in her, but it is asleep. What then is marriage? It is therefore two spirits that are basically, one has chosen the masculine activity to experiment the transformation of the material and the physical world to the glory of the Most High, and the other has chosen the feminine activity to support this work of transformation of the material world by connecting men and women to the will of the Most High. The two of them decide to unite their activities to complete each other, so that one has chosen the masculine activity. He will try to elevate his consciousness of that activity, and then he will transfer his expertise to the one that basically chose the feminine activity, so that when she receives this masculine activity from her partner, she too can become conscious also of her femininity and even her masculinity, which is asleep. Listen very careful. And the person that has chosen basically the feminine activity, by the elevation of her conscience of her activity, she will gain from the feminine activity. She then also will transfer through the union of marriage her expertise to her partner of the masculine activity, so that he too can be able to receive that expertise and be able to arrive at spiritual conscience of his hermaphrodite spirit. And they together will evolve in the unity of complementarity. One completes the other, but each one plays their own role well, because it is a choice that you chose before the Most High to come and do that activity, and they made for you a body to wear to be able to perform that activity. So in marriage, you do not lose anything, because you pick the expertise of the other and you enrich each other mutually, and you become auto-conscious. You both become knowledgeable of the activities of the spirit in the union of marriage. This is how harmony needs to reign between these two people. So marriage is therefore, if you follow that very careful, it is a union of two spiritual activities. Why? So that the two partners can arrive at the maturation of these two activities by blessing each other. So marriage has a spiritual objective. It is for the elevation of the spirit to attain auto-conscience, to become a muntu. But because one can only exercise one activity, because the spirit only wears the body of a man or a woman, so they can be able to exercise their different activities individually. But when they unite to form marriage, they will exchange these activities, they will exchange these energies, they will exchange their experiences. We shall see how this is done in marriage. This is how both of them become and be able to attain spiritual maturity. See therefore what marriage is. When we speak here, you never heard us, oh, we shall make babies, maternity, things like that. No. We have not said that. We are spirits. We arrived here on earth to cultivate the will of the Most High and to bring it to excellence. And for that, we have to choose a tool or a body. Others chose to be men. The semis made for them a body of a man, an astral body of a man. And in the ovary of the mother, when the male baby is growing, the spirit that basically has the astral body of a man that has chosen the masculine activity is the one that basically incarnates into that particular pregnancy. You see? So what is masculinity? It is the activity of the transformation, a builder of matter, so that life on earth can resemble in the form and even in the function to an inferior degree the spiritual kingdom. Other spirits have chosen the feminine activity. They have chosen to elevate their conscience of the spiritual activity that they made. They made this choice. They did not impose on you to be a woman or a man. You made the choice. But because you are no longer conscious, you have forgotten your choice. But if you rise in the light of the Most High, you come to see by knowledge that it is a responsible choice. The Most High does not impose anything on us in the physical dimension. And by choosing to be a woman, the symbiote made for you a feminine astral body. And this feminine astral body basically will search for an act of sex in the pregnancy here on earth, where there's a baby girl who's being grown in the mother's womb, and then this spirit will be able to incarnate. So because these two spirits are hermaphrodites, there's basically a need of marriage. Listen to this very, very careful, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. So those that do not marry are spirits that come from the spiritual kingdom directly. They're already autoconscious, like Mfumu and other great spirits. They do not need marriage to attain consciousness because they're already autoconscious before they arrived here on earth. But we, the spirits of evolution, we are in evolution. So we select a positive activity and the others select a negative activity, the yin and the yang. And by marriage, we see how that will be organized to attain spiritual maturity. Marriage is therefore a spiritual activity. Marriage has first of all a spiritual objective. It is built by the trust one offers to the other. The proximity of my activity will help her grow, and together we shall be able to arrive at excellence. We will together attain the goal of why we came into the earth. It means to elevate our spirit to the consciousness of the image and resemblance of the Most High. We therefore need the proximity of the other, so that in a conscious alliance, I need my wife and my wife needs me. So that when I will do my masculine activity, I will transfer my masculine energy to her, and her she will also transfer her feminine energy to me. And together, by a respectful exchange of experiences, we give our partner the possibility to bring to excellence his or her spirit towards the heavens. What then is the responsibility of a man in marriage? For a man, he knows that feminine activity needs a family. A man needs to prepare an appropriate cadre or a house or a home for his wife, for her feminine activity, so that the feminine activity can be well exercised. As a man, I need to protect that feminine activity, because that feminine activity has the role of being an agency of connection with the higher dimension. There is a need for this activity to have a family, a home, to have a cadre, to be protected from negative influences. She needs to be in a good condition to bring in the light of the Most High in the society. A man needs to create a home for the feminine activity. He needs to work for the happiness of his wife. He needs to listen to her, respects her in her different choices. He places in her disposition a correct cadre to her taste of femininity. He loves her as Christ loved the church and respects her free will. It means he respects her evolution in her own rhythm. And he shares to her a return of his masculine activity and experiences to enable her and help her in her spiritual elevation. See therefore the engagement of the masculine activity by doing his work. He assures his soul sister an appropriate cadre. He respects her, and he knows that this soul sister is for the goal to bring the heavens to the earth. He respects her different choices because you do not have the same activity. He assures her protection because this feminine activity will want at all time to guard the sacred flame of love, justice, and purity on the earth. She needs to be protected from all odds. This feminine activity eagerly needs to evolve towards autoconscious and needs to receive your return of experience of your masculine activity, so that your wife arrives to succeed her existential goal. Responsibility of a woman in marriage. The woman knows that the transformation activity needs enoblishment and needs light to continue to do the transformation in society. Also in the political level, also in all levels, in accordance with the will of the Most High. And when they give her the cadre by her husband, she organizes this cadre. She organizes her home so that others can be able to find joy, peace, and love, and the togetherness of the ingredients of the fruits of the Spirit. She cultivates in her these fruits of the Spirit so she can be able to be the manifestation of the sacred flame in the proximity of the others who are transforming the society. She lives in spiritual beauty. She brings in her style of life nobleness, delicacy, beauty, modesty, cleanness in her thoughts, in her emotions, in her feelings or sentiments. She's the guardian of the sacred flame of the light of the Most High. She understands the frustration of the masculine activity when he's confronted by difficulties in the transformation of nature. She releases energy of gentleness. She's always in contact with the Most High for the best inspiration. The woman becomes the strength of the man. She becomes the spiritual support on which he relies on. She becomes his assurance. The woman is therefore the force and the help of the man. And this woman also helps in the transformative activity by choosing the fields of occupation that are basically appropriate to her femininity, so she can be able to participate as a helper in the transformation, but in fields that do not move her away from her radiation that consists of maintaining the sacred flame of love. She chooses therefore occupation that will not move her away from her primordial choice of being the guardian of the sacred flame and a helper of humanity, and this choice should not contrast basically her virtues of femininity. In this field, she takes account of gentleness, delicacy, nobility, modesty, faithfulness, sterility. The wife chooses in the family a cadre and alignment of light to mark the spiritual presence on the earth so that humans can govern better the creation. The wife is the reign of light in creation, while the man is the king of the transformative activity. The woman looks at the spiritual and watches her heart to live as a spirit in spirit. She is conscious of her celestial citizenship. She reminds her husband all time by the virtues that she releases. She reminds her husband that we are foreigners on earth, we belong to the Most High, that we simply are the intercessor of the Most High on earth, and by marriage we're able to bring the heavens to the earth. To conclude today, my dear brothers and sisters, see therefore the union of activities, and the union needs to be protected. This union needs to be protected. This sacred union, a vital alliance, it is the wisdom of the Most High that gave birth to this union. This alliance for the elevation of human spirits. It cannot be done anyhow. When a spirit wears an animal body, the spirit needs to have the knowledge and needs to be well taught. The spirit needs to be well prepared. The spirit needs to be well laid in the post-creation to better understand what is my activity. How am I going to lead my physical body to be sufficiently utilized to succeed my masculine and my feminine activity? And the biggest problem on how I can make a choice for marriage, the choice is made where? Because in truth, as we are going to see next time, here we only manifest the choices that we made above. Can a man not separate what the Most High has united? Matthew chapter 19 verse 6. What therefore God had put together, let not man put asunder. It is a spiritual union that is made at the peak of the physical dimension, but that is manifested here. And how to arrive to attain the maturity of the choice that you made when you were still a seed of spirit, when you entered into the physical dimension for the very first time. You too, how are you going to live your marriage? What is done in marriage? What is the role of each in marriage, so that that marriage can arrive at the maturity to respond to the objective that has been traced by the Most High. My dear brothers and sisters of Africa, in our next class we shall basically speak about how to prepare for marriage from childhood. Today we basically introduce you to marriage and the two activities and the necessities of uniting these two activities. You will notice that we have not spoke about maternity. It means the existential and purpose of a woman is not to be a baby machine. Yes, you wear an animal body that is basically a mammal in her physical body like all other mammals, but she, the driver on the inside, she is spiritual. Her priority is her relationship with the Most High. But since she has worn the body of a mammal, yes, she can bring other mammals to existence, to give other species an opportunity to exist. But we shall look at this after, because we thought that to be success in femininity is the accomplishment of maternity. No, you can be a woman who has excelled and you have never given birth to any baby. But marriage is necessary to arrive at the spiritual maturity of the spirits, like we explained today, so that the spirits can be able to attain their spiritual dimension in the two activities. We end here, my dear brothers and sisters of Africa. This was presented by Avi Ngayakangalanga from Zola Bantu. We shall cover in our next class on how to prepare for marriage from childhood, and we shall move in from there. Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much. We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us. We build together, we don't destroy. Zolanga angulendo nsakumpa mbunzinga makuku matatu malamba kongo tubunda pandu katuvani panduko.
We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us, we build together, we don't destroy.
Support us by liking the video, vibrate in love by sharing the video to one person that you love, become our member here on YouTube by clicking join, follow us on Instagram, we have basically many courses over there, follow us also on Facebook, we have many posts over there, become our Patreon to show us love by supporting us. We have amazing courses available on our Patreon account. Visit our website to know more about Zola Bantu. Click on our playlist here on YouTube to be able to watch our courses for free and see our classes. Join the Zola Bantu class every Sunday, available here on YouTube, to decolonize your mind. Donate to us via PayPal. If you cannot donate funds, donate to us your time by blessing us with your skills and expertise on our projects. Bless us with at least 1 hour a week of your time. Our key projects are education, food, media, army, and the restoration of the African woman. We love you so much, Zola Bantu. Kisses. Mwah.